Previously, when Princess Lewellyn had embarked on her journey to Thessaly to finally meet her little brother, Alpheus, her escort was attacked by the one-eyed demons, who slaughtered the Red Knights and vandalized the carriages, making them unfit for use. Witnessing that many Red Knights had lost their lives while protecting her, she geared up with a sword, determined to protect herself with her own hand. Forming a team with the remaining knights, Lewellyn charged at the demons and sliced through them without any casualty. However, another demon directed its sharp paws at Lewellyn, but before it could harm her, Almondite came to her rescue and sliced the demon into perfect two halves. After doing his job, Almondite sprang before Lewellyn, asking if she was alright. To this, she sternly questioned him about what he was doing here. Amid this, Dane approached them, and without hesitation, he asked if Almondite was following them. Hearing this, Almondite stated that his presence was not important, and as Almondite scrutinized the situation, he declared that he would also come with them to Thessaly. So, let's dive into the parts 106, 107 and 108 of the manhwa, The Secret Bedroom of the Forsaken Princess. At hearing Almondite's unexpected declaration, Lewellyn is shocked with wide eyes, wondering what she just heard. And as Almondite requests a clean cloth to wipe the demon's blood, Dane objects to his decision, questioning what he means by saying he will disguise as a knight and come along with them. With a serious gaze, Almondite suggests Dane to direct his attention on the casualties they faced after the demon's attack, asking if he will still say that after witnessing this. Realizing their situation, Dane and Paulo lower their embarrassed gazes. Smirking, Almondite mentions that he thought Pamela's White Knights were a disorganized group, but Commander Tristan's brave Red Knights are also the same. Adding fuel to the fire, he asks if Tristan ever teaches them anything or not. Enraged, the Knights warn Almondite to stop insulting their commander. Almondite further mentions that the Red Knights don't have pride in them. Suddenly, the pissed Lewellyn throws a sword right before Almondite, signaling him to stop his blabbering immediately. With a stern gaze, she orders him to stop insulting the dead Red Knights, as they died in the process of protecting her. Besides, she fought with them because she knew their loyalty. Stepping very close to Almondite, Lewellyn asks if she didn't tell him to never show his face in front of her. Hearing this, the knights are heavily shocked, while Almondite stands still in complete silence. Feeling proud, Paulo thanks Lewellyn for standing up for the Red Knights. With an unpleased gaze, Lewellyn orders Almondite to leave them alone and return right away. To this, he tightens his grip on his sword and declares that she was almost killed by the demons if he hadn't saved her. Besides, if he didn't rescue her, she wouldn't be here shouting that she doesn't want to see him, but would already be dead. Observing the heated conversation between Lewellyn and Almondite, Dane maintains his silence for a bit. However, he musters up his courage and springs towards them, asking Almondite if there's a chance that the demons will attack them again. To this, Almondite mentions that there may be more dangerous situations ahead. Plus, none of the capital's knights have ever dealt with a demon, especially since these one-eyed demons are walking around in a group. Yet, they are fortunate, as he will join them on their trip to Thessaly, so there won't be any problems in the future. And as Lewellyn tries to object to Almondite's decision, he stops her, mentioning that he believes she is someone who understands the situation, hence she won't be influenced by emotions. Hearing this, she reflects that many knights died protecting her, and she doesn't know how to protect herself from the demons. Moreover, the Red Knights are brave but lack experience fighting the demons. Hence, she can't sacrifice their lives anymore in an already lost battle. But if the heroic Almondite is with them, he can minimize the casualties of the knights by slicing the demons alone. Amid this, Dane approaches Lewellyn and urges her to allow Almondite to follow them to Thessaly. Also, her carriage is totally broken down, so she has to ride a horse. And if their captain Tristan were here, he would have accepted Almondite's aid despite not liking him. With a long sigh of displeasure, Lewellyn shifts to Almondite's side and declares that she will allow him to accompany her. But she also wants him to refrain from making rude comments to the knights, who fought for her and died while protecting her. The knights feel proud hearing that she is showing respect to them. Meanwhile, Almondite delivers a light smirk and bows, mentioning that he'll keep that in mind. Further, Dane requests Almondite to wear a clean cloak. Dwelling in deep thoughts, Lewellyn reflects that she isn't sure if she made the best choice by allowing Almondite to come with her. The scene then transitions to some hours later, where surprisingly, Lewellyn and Almondite are sharing the same horse. Sweating, she reflects that she indeed didn't make a good choice. The scene again transitions to the monastery, where patron Ernell comes to meet his father, the Pope. Seeing Ernell, the Pope asks how his son is doing. And as Ernell asks why the Pope called him, the priest states that he just wanted to see his face. The Pope also questions how long Ernell will stay in Brighton. Chuckling, the Pope inquires if Princess Lewellyn is that pretty. And as Ernell questions why he is asking about the princess, the Pope mentions that he doesn't care with whom his son sleeps with, but he doesn't want his son to create a scandal in the empire. Hearing this, Ernell wonders if his father is watching his every move. However, he doesn't need to be concerned, as this old man will die soon. The Pope further asks if the princess isn't so pitiful. To this, Ernell expresses that Lewellyn didn't look as pitiful as he thought. Hearing this, the Pope states that it's the first time Ernell has spoken like that about a woman. Pissed, Ernell suggests to himself to never be fooled by that disgusting smile, as he knows very well how much dirty work the Pope has done behind that face, because, despite being a Pope, he was intimate with a female priestess who had divine powers. By that, the Pope produced many sons to secure his Pope's seat. Even Ernell was among those kids, who were just pawns for his plan. However, when a particular son was no longer needed, he was killed without any mercy. And just because Ernell saw his beloved brother's deaths, he vowed to take revenge on his father. With a predatory gaze, Ernell declares that he will definitely kill the Pope. Interrupting Ernell's thoughts, the Pope asks if the princess has embarked on her journey to Thessaly. Surprised, Ernell asks if it's true that Lewellyn went to Thessaly. To this, the Pope questions if he didn't know this news until now. The Pope informs Ernell that the princess went there to bring back her brother, Alpheus. From here, the scene transitions back to the forest, where Lewellyn is gradually approaching her destination in Thessaly. Sitting very close to Almondite, Lewellyn becomes uncomfortable, wondering how she should explain this awkward situation. And despite liking to ride the horse instead of the carriage, why is she riding with no one but Almondite? She then recalls that Dane suggested she ride the horse with Almondite, as the demons were completely after her. But sensing Almondite's body warmth around her body, she reflects that she really can't endure this. Noting her discomfort, he whispers in her ear, assuring her that he will get a new carriage for her in the next town. Hearing this, Lewellyn's cheeks turn heavily red with wide eyes. Instantly, her stigma starts to react because of his divine powers. After some hours, they reach a certain place, where Almondite helps Lewellyn get down from the horse. And as he safely places her on the ground, he suggests she take a good rest, as there'll be no rest place ahead. To this, she reflects that he is the one who is tired, as he held her and rode the horse all night long. Getting embarrassed, Lewellyn leaves the scene in a hurry, ordering Paulo to bring her some hot water. Arriving in her room, she slumps down on the bed and starts breathing heavily, wondering why her body feels hot. And is it because Asmodeus's stigma cycle overlaps? Besides, what if she makes a mistake in front of the knights and diplomats because of her urges? Amid this, someone knocks on the room's door. And as Lewellyn asks who it is, Almondite comes inside with a tray in his hand. Releasing a sigh, she first feels relief that it's Almondite, but then quickly becomes displeased. Shifting her gaze, she declares that she is in this awkward situation just because of him. Hearing this, Almondite prepares a glass of chilled water. And as Lewellyn drinks the water, he begins to fan her to help her calm. Becoming even more uncomfortable with his weird actions, she questions why a returning hero is serving an unforsaken princess. To this, Almondite expresses that he simply honors Princess Lewellyn. In an attempt to adjust her unorganized hair, he accidentally touches her neck, causing the stigma to send a shock throughout her body. Sensing it, she springs away from him and starts breathing heavily with flushed cheeks. Observing this, Almondite asks if Lewellyn is sick and if he should call a doctor. With a stream of tears in her eyes, she asks what this sweet smell is. Perplexed, he questions what smell she is talking about. To this, Lewellyn shifts her gaze and orders Almondite to be quiet. After this, a pin-drop silence occurs between them for a moment. Lowering her eyes, she suggests that they shouldn't ride together for the rest of their journey. Pissed, he asks why she is behaving like a child at the moment. Going out of control, Lewellyn requests Almondite to leave her alone. The scene then transitions to some time later, where Lewellyn is trying her best to sleep while holding an ice crystal to mitigate the stigma's strength. Besides, Almondite is present, continuously checking her body's temperature. And even if he isn't saying anything, he delivers an expression, pleading for her to get well soon. From here, the scene shifts to Thessaly's main gate, where, upon arriving, Lewellyn is mesmerized by the grandeur of her dead mother's home place. Not believing his eyes, Dane mentions that it's huge, just like he heard. With a determined look, she reflects that she's finally arrived here. She further adds that she was attacked more than twice on her way here to the Holy Land, and she even encountered rare demons, which brought her many casualties. Whispering among themselves, the knights comment that Almondite was right, as the demons were really after the princess, and if he weren't there with them, they wouldn't have been safe either. Suddenly, Lewellyn shifts her gaze at Almondite, but when he looks at her in response, she abruptly gazes in the opposite direction. Amid this, the main gate of the Holy Land gradually opens, and as it opens fully, a handsome blonde knight in his shining armor steps before them and welcomes Lewellyn by referring to her as the Princess of Brygen. The knight's name is Aaron, who mentions that he'll be her host while she is here. scrutinizing Aaron's face. Lewellyn reflects that his resemblance completely matches Ernell. Even knights whisper if all the knights in the Holy Land look alike like patron Ernell. Hearing this, Almondite gets heavily jealous, directing his murderous gaze at Aaron. Aaron further informs Lewellyn that the team from Thessaly will arrive at the Holy Land in 3 days. To this, she asks why they are holding the meeting at the Holy Land, to which he states that he also doesn't know the complete details. As we wrap up today's segment, thank you for being with us until the very end. I'll be sharing fresh videos of this manga and exciting new series every weekend. Your support is invaluable, so please subscribe and hit the notification bell to stay updated. Your encouragement keeps the channel thriving, and I appreciate it immensely. Until next time, take care and goodbye.